Hi everyone, my name is Adriana Cordova. This is my relationship interview analysis. So I chose my older brother Fernando, he's 28, and his wife Sherlyn, who's 26. They've been recently married, have been married for a year. They met in choir in Stevens High School. They dated for 10 years, have been engaged for 2 years, and got married June 8th, 2023. Some external pressures that they faced was that Fernando's mom was a bit overbearing at times. She had a hard time with Fernando having a relationship and then leaving the house because of the relationship evolving. Fernando at the time would also work a lot and prioritize working over spending quality time together. This was mostly because Fernando's mom only had like a one male child, and that was Fernando. So because of this, she was very territorial, and so it caused a lot of strain in their relationship when they would try to hang out. Some internal pressures that they face is us insecurities and self-worth. A lot of friends or couples around them started having kids. There is often a lot of pressure in their family to have kids. I know my parents would always be like, when are you having kids? I'm getting old now, I'm not always going to be here, and with that is causing them a lot of strain and just insecurity, and makes them like, okay, maybe I do need to have kids, but they aren't really ready for it yet. Money is also a huge thing. It is a balance that Fernando still struggles with, especially his upbringing with his parents. Um, Struggling with money. My parents are Ecuadorians. Like, we came from absolutely nothing, from California, from Ecuador to California to San Antonio. We built ourselves from the ground up. So we have been through honestly a lot with money. My parents have always had conflict, and they always just fought a lot with money. And so they weren't really necessarily happy a lot of the time. So with that caused a lot of money strain in his life and a lot of money insecurity, as well as for the first 3 years after graduation, Fernando took a pay cut to pursue his dream job, and that affected the relationship a lot. Maintenance behavior. So communication is key. Without communication, there is no relationship. Compromise is a huge thing too. So Fernando recently got his master's, but Sherlyn had to put her master's on hold. Now that Fernando completed his master's, Sherlyn can finally start thinking about getting her master's too. Going on trips every year helps reconnect and step away from the problems of their everyday life. So they like going to Disney. They recently went to Las Vegas. They're going to Las Vegas again. They went to the Galapagos, which is in Ecuador, and as well as they went to Mexico. So some personality type is Sherlyn. She's an explorer. She always loves trying new things and has a need to always want to travel. She's busy and always has something going on in her life. With being an explorer, it comes with impulsiveness, curiosity, and assertiveness. Fernando is the builder. Fernando always has been one to be family oriented. He loves working with young adults at his job and guides them to their paths. With being a builder, you are family orientated. You love honesty. You love being honest. You love loyalty, and you love having that loyal aspect in your life. So some love languages is Fernando's love language is affirmations. He loves being told, "You're doing a good job. I'm proud of you." Shalyn love language is acts of service as well as gifts. So of course his proposal was very meaningful because he had to know who she was as a person to do this proposal. Some interpersonal theories is, so they met in choir, and so they fell in love at first sight. Obviously the proximity wasn't being choir. They met at a Dallas trip, so they always had to be together during a class when it was choir. They complement each other well by being rational and emotional thinkers. So Shalyn is very much on the more rational aspect, but Fernando is on a more emotional aspect, so they both complement and keep each other in check. Some interpersonal needs theory is control. They both have control of the relationship. Obviously, some days maybe other one has more control than the other, but for the most part they both have control. Situational is this honestly depends on the day and chores that they do. Sherlyn, however, does more of the decorating the house, the cooking and cleaning, and my brother does most of the working, like long hours, and as well as helping out with the housework occasionally. Again, this always changes and depends on what the other person is doing. One person isn't doing more, one person isn't doing less. It both just depends. As well as they are both extroverts, they love talking to anyone and they will talk your ear off. They are the most fun people I've ever met. They will break you out of your shell if you ever meet them. Their affection is their love languages. So Shalyn is a service, acts of service, and gifts, and uh Fernando is always just affirmations. And as well as they both show each other affection by communicating and as well as compromising. Some conflict management skills is Fernando is very avoidant and has withdrawals at times. He needs some time to step away from the situation to ensure that he can communicate later. Honestly, he's very, very, very sometimes aggressive when someone is very adamant. So you honestly do need to give him that time to very decompress before you tell him to come out of his shell. Shalyn is, however, the opposite. She's very confrontational. She would like to address the situation right then and there. She does not want to wait. She wants to fix the situation as soon as it happens. The lesson learned with both of them is Fernando said, keep the people in your life who truly value you and don't just always see your flaws. Recognize the ones who are there for you through the hardest times of your life, not just good. Shalyn says it's important to find someone who will be with you through the hardest moments of your life. Make sure you choose a partner that can be there for you and support you. It's important to choose a partner wisely. This is my project. I hope everyone like it. Thank you so much.